Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Great War as part of the Croatian series. Because the reason I started off with the Great War, because that's what it is basically. It's the first Great War in Europe. The Commonwealth Nuremberg War. A huge war that I did not start. But I took part of it because we're allied with the Commonwealth for centuries and we remain so. Even though we got ourselves into this huge mess. Especially fighting against the French, who's been giving us all hell, but still. They're the ones that contributed the most in the participation score. And Scandinavia is the one that contributes the most during this war. Only one enemy surrendered. Bohemia. They just lost this one just recently. Which they had their capital pillaged by the Commonwealth, so all that development goes to Warsaw. Well, as of right now, we're in a bit of a resting period after the latest French attack. Action in the southern Baltic Sea is ongoing. And what I tell you, carnage continues, even out at sea. While they're committing themselves to the offensive to try to defeat the Scandinavians, to get them off of their... to try to draw them out, while the Commonwealth has fully committed on the offense to take the objective of this war, Nuremberg. This area. Nuremberg. Yeah. And whereas for us, we plan on starting an offensive soon. As far as we're concerned. It's mild winter here, but if we were to go over there towards Savoy, it'll be normal winter. So that supply limit would not do well for any one of us here. No, it doesn't fit for everybody. So we're thinking about going in April. But I fear the French may come again and try us again. While we are also waiting for the Army of Goa, unofficially as we call it, because they've been in Goa for so long, to get over here, but it'll take another few months before it'll finally get over here. While Armata de Salerno is now moved out, so they're going to be fighting in their own initiative, as they're eager to take Ansbach back. But now the question is, will the French come again? We plan on going in April, which is when winter should be over. These three back here are kept in reserve unless deployed to these combat zones, in case, you know, things get too chaotic out there. The Brandenburgian fleet also now sunk. Now, they have the advantage at seas in both north and south. But the only concern is it's the land campaign. Yes, the Commonwealth has many, but Scandinavia's participation of the war could be endangered. But as long as they're deployed at this sea zone here in Öresund, they cannot cross into these islands and take their capital. So they're going to be forced to deploy elsewhere in combat. Well, meanwhile, this army needs to rebuild itself, because they've taken severe casualties during the last couple of French offensives in Verona, which we both held the line. They won this one. Said to be the diplomat. Sometimes I wish you could tell you, it's like, hey, whose side are you on in this war? Is there anyone else that wants to join this huge conflict? Great Britain could have taken advantage of the situation and attacked France, as they are waiting for support of the independence of French Louisiana, which is it's once again, it's gone revolutionary. It's a revolutionary republic again. They're working together. While the French Canadians are out there now. They have not threatened New Croatia yet. So remember the plan. When winter is over, you must take Savoy. And the mountains is the objective. Take them and take the entire area of Provence and Savoy. This is farmlands. These areas here is a priority. Because that's where their fleet's deployed. And plus it's to relieve some pressure off of them, because as good as it looks right now, as they have taken the objective, pressure's on them, but however, we can't guarantee everything. So you got 2 months. If you don't arrive here by April, we're moving. But I think they will. They will join the offensive. And since we have no sight of... Well, there's the new Armée Royale. Revolutionary Augsburg. Armee von Augsburg. You can see. So let's read this news for now as we slowly pass the time. With new developments in the art of glassmaking and metalwork comes the ability... hang on. Oh, the French won that war. That means more fun for New Croatia. Anyways. On the art of glassmaking and metalwork comes the ability to create a more refined scientific instruments. Lenses that magnify the very distant and the very small are invaluable to our astronomers and natural philosophers. While chemists hone their craft in more complex metal tools, recent breakthroughs have given Croatia a scientific edge in the production of this equipment, where we can eagerly await the discoveries that have been made possible. Can they turn lead into gold yet? And just in time, on March 1st, Army of Goa, the 4th Army, unofficially the Armia Old Goa. I don't know why, but after this war, I kind of want to do that off recording. A possibility of renaming all these armies and use it with Croatian native names only. As with everybody else. Native Croatian names. Like, well, we're a republic army. We're not a kingdom anymore. I was about to say Armia, whatever is the word for royal, but no. We're a republic. We're different, so probably have to name it like Armia Zagreb, Belgrade, Bosnia. I mean, it doesn't really matter because of where these regiments came from. You get the idea. And since you were the last one to be deployed and you came from Goa, you would be unofficially Armia India. So a little more innovativeness for us. You'll be reinforced soon. These are the armies that will take part on the offensive towards Savoy and Provence. And these armies will still be kept in reserve unless absolutely necessary, and as well as the possibility of deployment to up there, such as what's going on up there in Volgas. But friendly reinforcements are on their way if they can get there fast enough, which I don't think they will. It's too late for them. 10th of March, they might save them in time. Will they or will they not? They made it, and they withdrew. But they were able to kill a lot of them. So, very tense for them. from Karaman is offering us to rent the army of Kastaman Odustu. 17 infantry regiments, 4 cavalry, 4 artillery. And we would have to pay them. This army is led by Mabud Cheksh. No, thank you. We can handle it from here. We got everybody on board. Glad to see you be concerned of us. Now, if it was somebody from, say, Mamluks, and if they offer us an army, I'll be willing to take that. Remember, your orders are to begin marching. Okay, all armies to Sicily are going away now, under their own command. Ansbach can tag along with us for silly reasons. But there's good reasons for this. Stuttgart. There's a huge battle going on. Armia de Salono. Gone. It's a bad day for you. That's all I gotta say about it. Okay. Regardless what happens up there, we must take the mountains. Take over the mountains of Savoy and the hills around it. And to take their port to destroy their navy. French have an infinite amount of manpower. We do not. But you know, with them out of there now, at least that'll relieve some of the attrition. As for you, infantry is going to be fully recovered, but not the cavalry. But you'll be coming with us regardless. Now the question is, who will take part in the siege? Siege 2? You two have siege 2. Okay. I know where to deploy exactly. So, at least... Like I would say 2 armies and down here, and a rest to Savoy. But at least you'll be fully reinforced time while we begin our march soon. Because it's not easy to move a big body of troops out that way. But again, these 3 originally meant to deploy up there, but I think they got this handled. So you may want to transfer the Italian front as they go that way. Like in case one of our armies get badly mauled, and then you will come in and relieve them while they will head home and recover before they will be deployed back to the front. Got it? Let's begin the march now. I know it takes a few days to get from one place to the other, but the winter is gone by then. Yeah, it should be gone by then. Mirko Goyansky of the highest drilled army here will be deployed to Savoy. You will also cover us the infantry. There, Gregor Black Guy, you'll be heading to this fort to take that over. Cossacks will follow you behind, and you will also take this port. Again, I'm not sure about the deployment, but this is where you come in. You will go over there as well. And now you take their place. Sort out these reinforcements smartly. The offensive shall begin. If Sicily, two Sicilies can come with us, it'll be grand. The term is up for Mirko Goryansky. April 4th is election day. With enough support, he could stay in office, but then he must defeat his 3 primary competitors. Since we got very high Republican tradition these days. And knowing how important he is, as he's the architect of this offensive, basically. Again, he's got 2 fire, 3 shock, 4 maneuver. He can get the army faster. He's only 42 years old. Let's keep him. He'll be very important to us. Gain some diplomatic power of that subsequently. Wish we had full professionalism again. And meanwhile, there's about to be a major battle that's going to take place in Ingolstadt. Don't know if they'll be, they may join in on this one. But meanwhile, that's the former army we're out talking about. They deployed to a new front, so they're away from us, giving us the opportunity to go to France. It's good to know. So in other words, we're going to make good progress. The objective is hold the high ground, kick the fleet out of there so well, I don't know about all transports, but they'll try to destroy them all, but they'll be met up with this. And this would make the blockade unnecessary, as we would probably tell them to return home because you've been out here for long enough. It begins on the 6th. So let's see it. You had it! You decide to break away from this siege and you're going down there? I understand your concerns with the well-being of others. It's still mild winter, but it'll be gone soon. So we'll take less attrition losses based on deployment. Independent army. They're withdrawing. They withdrew. So that's what the Commonwealth Cavalry looks like now, replacing the old winged hussars. Now the deadly French forces are taking out our allied army up there, while we're beginning this great offensive to try to quickly take the high ground before they return. So that way, if they want to take it back, they'll be fighting in our ground. Winter's gone officially. Revolutionary ideas spread. The Center Revolution in Lubin, Commonwealth, has spread revolutionary ideas in Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik is where the center of the trade of Ragusa is located. This is where the Center Revolution is. So already there's some revolution is present in Zagreb, Rijeka, Trevesto, Belgrade, and now here. And now Drac may be next, as well as Zagreb. So in these percentages in total, 13% of it. Well, we haven't had no unrest located regarding revolutionaries, so it's not enough to embrace them. And I don't think it's a good idea to be embracing them during a time like this. Or any time. Even if we were to go revolutionary, this would end our colonial adventures around the world. As I still have interest in Hawaii in the long term. while we will continue to colonize Africa. Especially when we get down there. After all. And as well as other imperialist ambitions such as, you know, the conquest of more gold and dominating the coastal trade centers for the Zanzibar Trade Company. Is that correct? The East African Charter. East African Company, yes. Don't forget about your colonial ambitions far in the future. Again, it's going to take quite a bit of long way, so we should take it. No need to breach the walls manually. But there could be other armies stationed over there. Ansbach will soon be free. End of the revolution in Dorma. It's back to normal. Now, one Commonwealth army has made its way into France. Probably going to Paris, likely, since it's left them exposed. Major fighting in Ingolstadt again. Cannot go up there. Still high despite all this. Also, what's going up in Canada? Obviously, they can try to take as much time as possible, but sooner or later, they're going to have an encounter. They deployed the French forces, not French Canadians, French forces into New Croatia. And this is a French Canadian fleet. They got heavy ships. You don't have what it takes to take them on. No way. They got an admiral and all that. Don't even think about it, man. I mean, they do have an old fort up there. So, how the heck did they deploy French? How they got away with that? Blockade runners, I assume. I'll break away from this. You're basically going to go on hunter-killer duty. Find the French Canadian fleet, destroy them. And the nearest safe port is up in Norway. No need to come back down to the Mediterranean because they'll take care of this one. So let's have a short stay in, I guess... well, meanwhile, major battle. Poor Sicily, they always the ones to get themselves killed out there. And that means it opens up some manpower reserves if they have any. Which I don't think they don't. If they lose them, they lose them. So now we're allowing them to be free. So yes, we're allowing the French to toughen up. Since you got all this great income, you know what? I considered this in a previous episode, but now we're gonna send you officers and army instructors to New Croatia. This will add more morale of armies and discipline. There you have it. It only affects it a little. So, should they encounter forces of the French-Canadian forces, they will take them out. Of course, it's at the expense of them. Here we go. They're out of here now. See to if you can get them. Even though they got a flagship. Even though you're all transports. Since they will break away from us, they're concerned about their brethren. They only sunk 2 ships. Can't the Sicilians do anything right? Doors open again. Can't go that way, not until these forts have fallen. Commonwealth withdrew from a potential French offensive. Because now, it's going back this way. They've taken Savoy. Well done. We'll be heading to... Oh, no. Now stay here. Can't cross that way. That means the French are going back to the Atlantic side. Minor action. How do you not have a fortress? Pressure's on you for this. Because they're coming back after you now. We're making ground, and yet you're losing ground. And the Scandinavians need to retake parts of Denmark back. It is possible to build more troops here at the expense of it, but not while they're out there. So they need to start running. Get their asses over here. No mercenaries. Colony's not going to get kicked out of the war. It's just don't like to see that fact. But so far so good, the offensive's going well. If there is a place to fall back to, it's Savoy. We just gotta hold the mountains here. Savoy, Dauphine. These are the places to fall back to. Oh my goodness. It's Jacques again. The best French general that they got as far as our knowledge is concerned. Despite the loss of Savoy, but it's not enough. Avignon taken. Doors open to head to this way. That's not... yes, it is then. Okay, move up. At least you're fully reinforced now. We'll cover you. Battle of Nuremberg. We're the center of all this. We defeated a French transport in Java Sea. Came from Katapang. More transport, so I see where they're getting their ships from. They have their... They don't have shipyards. They haven't really invested in this land, but what we do know is, don't know why, but it makes me want to build... No. It takes a year to build transports. Hardly do anything. You can recruit a few regiments from India. Even though you're over the force limit. And that's going to cost you more. Why are we considering this minor action to take place out here where we're going to send four infantry regiments worth to take Katapang and French Papuan Peninsula. To be deployed there and put more pressure on it, so this is also to prevent them from building any more ships from that area. Oh, and who could forget that one as well. Or send it, even though we would have to be... We're here, but you're to be returned to here for repairs. We see their fleet. Do we really need to expand to another front? Whereas all this manpower that should be used to reinforce our armies? And it takes 10 months to reinforce back to the way it was. Do you really want to commit to what we would call a sideshow of that war? There's no reason to engage them out there. They're out on patrol and they happen to be in the way. So we had open fire. For convenience sake. I would have to assume they've gone away. No, can't do that. No go. That's their territory. So, yeah, we have to do it out here. 10,000 strong. This is probably a bad idea. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10,000 infantry will be sent to America. You'll have the honor for this. So, we just want to save our colonial boys. Oh, here comes the French. Only because I want to save New Croatia. I want to save the colony. You know, they provide us a little of that economy too. You know, the tariffs and everything. Put them down. Admiral Slavets Koyakoch died from a nose contracted field. His demise will greatly gladden traders of all nationalities but ours. Well, we only need one admiral base. You're just not there. Return from blockade duty. We're letting the French open up. They're going to retake the objective, and they have succeeded that. Now, that's Army Morale. That's formerly known as Army Morale, but merged in with the Army Dudura. So now we made a successful offense, but we're not putting enough pressure on them. Well, meanwhile, these smaller French forces are out there, and we're sending Croatian troops from North Africa to, basically, to fight them off. May need a general for this sort of thing, knowing we got too many good generals here, but not enough of, you know. In a month. Check you back in a month. Just hold the highlands and the valley. Switzerland. Switzerland is not in this war. But however, they've been hired by the French. Swiss mercenaries. Move up. I'm suspicious of them. Are they really that desperate? They still got a lot of manpower, as they've thrown most of them over there. And Switzerland, who is neutral, allied with Bohemia. But I think they would have sympathized with them. I'm not that surprised they would be sympathetic to them. They are a true republic in a sense. So they decide to give away half their army to be hired off by the French. Ulrich Miller is the general. You're gonna regret this. Crud! Who are they? French pretender rebels. They tell us of the storming of the Bastille. Following months of stalled debates in the States General, which the very composition of the Assembly could be barely agreed upon, let alone a course of action for social and economic and constitutional reform, the revolutionary masses have had enough. Today, on October 2nd, 1756, a date that will go down in French history, fed up with the lack of progress, people took the matters in their own hands. A mob gathered at the stone of Bastille, a prison fortress towering over Paris as a symbol of royal oppression. Though King Louis XVI called in the troops, he was left powerless as the army refused to fire on the people, instead to join the revolt. Now, with a surge of revolutionary zeal coursed through the masses, France has been declared a republic. The revolution has arrived. France is now a republic. Enact revolutionary state. And they just gained a huge amount of manpower just now. It is now revolutionary France, led by this man. I mean, the French ideas are retained, obviously, but now they've been given a boost. And these French pretender rebels are here, and now they're endangering our position in the front line. Stop them! Stay here. We have the high ground. We need reinforcements. The French have revolted, and now the French themselves are still killing us in more ways than one. Take the high ground back. And they just took the fortress. extremely concerning. France has gone revolutionary. But it was the different kind of revolution compared to a revolution that started in the Commonwealth, but we're glad the Commonwealth has not embraced the revolution. But the revolution continues to spread in certain segments of Croatia. But it does not appear to be spreading anywhere else for now. But I'll tell you we need more of for future world wars. More soldiers' households in places where there's food. Gather up. You'll be deployed to America soon. And possibly, if need be, out there in the East Indies. Retake that position and hold it. France has been given a boost with the revolutionary zeal that they just got. But they're not out of the war. They're still fully committed. And they've changed their flags too. Now the real question is, do you want out of here? But as far as Liberty Desire is concerned. There they are. Light ships engaging. Captured another one of their transports and sunk the rest. Pretend the rebels are still out there, but need those highlands. So we have to kill them some more. The French are getting a lot of money, including the papacy, which, you know, you feel threatened by us. It's been a long time. Also gonna need that for more trade power concepts and all that at its value. The French offensive went, the offensive to Savoy and Provence went well, but however, these pretender rebels out there have just sprung up, thinking it's going to be a safe haven, but what they aren't aware is, hey, you're still in a state of war. Get out of here. This is the land we're supposed to hold to get the French out of there. And to bring the French upon down here so we can get them off here before we march on into Paris. Because I don't know how long Scandinavia can handle a little bit longer. So can they. But the real question is the revolution going to bring the Commonwealth down and in a way complicate things further? But for the most part, it looks like Frontline's slightly stabilized, but here it's just utter chaos, even throughout the rest of France. No, it seems the only the rebels who are out there was these, but they're in a way to the areas that we need to hold because of the high ground, and I don't want to lose that. And we're trying to get you relieved till you are further reinforced, and then those guys that Switzerland lended half of its army to, just went with the French. Doesn't matter, you're all French to me, and you're a problem. Canals and turnpikes. Bad roads have long been a limiting factor for economic growth in Herzegovina, severely hampering the transfer of goods, people, and capital. Looking to other areas, local entrepreneurs have begun to introduce toll roads to pay for maintenance, and there are far gone plans of building transportation canals to further ease the flow of goods. Good Lord! That's a lot of money. Not a good idea, but this is going to be for 10 years versus 15 years. But it's base production in Herzegovina. But I'll say it's a great initiative, but nothing for the state to engage in. Reduces a little bit of development cost if I'm ever interested in developing Herzegovina. Oh, actually the whole Bosnia area, which will soon be a heart of the area where all that great manpower is going to come from. So, it'll be a good one. No need to build a manufactory. We already have a barracks here. So I guess it's good if you were to build a textile manufacturer here for more money. But no need for that right now. And plus with revolutions present, this is what happens. We'll go take care of these soon. I think we may need to continue on the offensive to fight off against the French. Try to get to Paris. Gotta carpet siege our way there. That'll be for the plan of this offensive for the next year. Winter's already here, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on us regarding the attrition. Need to keep the French away from the Commonwealth. They're the only ones that can truly devastate them, because they're not going to get their act together. Spread too thin, and you have no reason to be down here. Good. Come over here. Take them out. Revolutionary France has also decided to go on a golden era. Oh dear. Now we definitely need to put a lot of pressure on them. Go kill him. We'll have the coast now. Yeah, we have the coast. Soon they'll be forced to go out this way and all that. You're going to America, boys, whether you like it or not. Retake those areas. Go save our colonial friend. Where are you guys? Oh, there you are. No, that's one. Where is your army? You haven't made it back home. You can't disappear off like this. Anyways, do deploy. Head to here. Surely you're in no danger, unless we provide you a skilled general. Not current demand and Croatian supply. Seems the lack of air in Korea has become increasingly sought after the Korean capital, Nakore. There's always a high demand for our goods, but this exceptional pulls out a great surge of wealth in the province. Dortmund's gone revolutionary again. Go up there. We have to take hold of this. Of all the places, which climate is temperate? That can't get winter because kinda don't want to be up here at this point. We're not taking attrition right now, but only a matter of time. But I wish we could improve the defenses, but we don't control that here. But honestly, how many forces is that in total? Should be, in my personal opinion, sufficient enough to take on any French forces should they come back here, but knowing that what's going on up there isn't really good, so while they are trying to rebuild its army, we may have to send these 3 armies to go save the Commonwealth up there. Feel bad for you. Don't quit out now. You are courageous. And now we're starting to feel that effect. Not war exhaustion, but how much can you get out of it? Hey. We could have needed the money, but sending this much soldiers, considerable, but can't really ask for much. Of course, you can't ask them anything because they're the ones at war. They're not. How dare you? Ally with Mali. We had plans to take coastal Mali. So that means that's off limits. $1757 is the year now. Unfortunately, just had a disease outbreak, so this place hasn't fallen yet. More mountains. What government is it, to be exact, for revolutionary France? It is a revolutionary republic. Revolutionary state which adds even more morale of armies, even with under a golden era. They're going to be hard to beat. Unless we have the high ground. Less unrest in the parliamentarianism. They've chosen parliament. What happened to the forces of New Croatia? Are they lost? Actually, you would know if you see them on a mini-map, but where are they? And that's why we're sending them out to investigate. Oh, hell. Yeah, definitely. Deploy to Warsaw. All of you. Break away from the Italian front. The Italian front's not in danger anymore. We need to get the French away from the Commonwealth. So it was somewhat of a success of the offensive here. Get up these mountains. I'll take it. We'll follow you. Okay, good. You know what, just in case. Before we move on further. In case if we have a place to fall back to. Savoy is the place. Build a supply depot here. This will increase the supply limit modifier for all of us here. Despite the devastation that occurred here due to occupation, it will continue to go up. It's not as cold down here, except in the mountains. But we'll be alright. We just need to draw them away. Ever since the revolution broke out, they just got a big boost in manpower. They could still keep going. They're making gains. There's no war exhaustion on us because we're an enthusiastic bunch. What's Great Britain doing in all this? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Wait, what? Oh my god. No. Get out there. Save those transports. It's going to West Bermuda Sea, and this one's also going to West Bermuda Sea. Hey! Sanctuary, please! No! Damn it, I forgot, they're rivals. Calling for Burma for sanctuary so the troops could just like transport the... But they say we'll be there in the 19th for New England Seamounts. On the 19th, on the 25th. You're gonna get out there and try to be there as fast as you can. Hate to do this to you, but get me another admiral. Goislav Rukovina. You'll be the man of the hour. Go save our ships, because some of the guys who are meant to go to America are over there. Oh, I know that man. Oh, by the way, what's the personality? Craven. Good to know, but it's every 4 years term. So their morale is high, but not that high, so to speak. So the situation is, go save all of them. What happened to you guys? Where are you guys is another question. We gotta do something about these other areas that they have in port to occupy them, so they can't create more ships out of there. That's how they get through this blockade. It isn't enough. They haven't been deployed out yet. They haven't made any breakthroughs, but if we see the first sign of them, we'll get them. So in that case, move up here a bit. Who's there with us? Ah, Ansbach, of course. The first nation that fell. All I could say is don't quit out, despite your capital's occupied and everything. It's just you got allies like us. So what's the plan for 1757? Next offensive? Go straight to Paris, but take the mountains first. Until, you know, spring. So we just take a few more places and then head straight to Paris and occupy the countryside around it. Any other places if necessary. But in the meantime, there's about to be a major battle in Prague, which I'm sure others will commit. It'll be up against Switzerland, who has been hired by France, now known as Revolutionary France. Switzerland, who is not a member of the HRE, plays a bit hokey-pokey with neutrality in my opinion, but since they were allied with Bohemia, which was one of the combatants we faced in the early part of the war, I feel that Swiss neutrality may not be necessary to us. Yes, they're allied with other HRE states, except for Tuscany, because big nation. Getting awful suspicious of you. But nonetheless, we must go now. Meanwhile, there's about to be a naval battle out here. Transports are in danger. They got out of there in time. Thank goodness. While we're sending to go destroy them. Heading to East Bermuda Sea, we will catch you there. We will catch you. Did you just see what I see? Anyways, don't get too distracted. They're on their way to New Croatia. Well, we're trying to figure out what the hell happened to the rest of this army. How they got lost and all that. Just be glad the conflict has not escalated with other countries joining. It doesn't look like that right now. But the war enthusiasm still remains very high. Because it's still early on in the war, but... again... Commonwealth suffered a lot, and so did we. Meanwhile... naval combat in West Bermuda Sea. 22 ships against 12 of their ships as well. It doesn't look like they will commit. So the Commonwealth's going to take care of the Swiss army there. Meanwhile, our heavy ships only. Capture the transport. Bring them home. Get back. You know they're gonna want to take this. It's an old bastion fortress. I wish we could afford a cavalry and all that. Yeah, it's happening here, and there goes the remnant. They branched off. They just branched off now. So remember, Savoy, place to fall back to if the offensive doesn't go well. Commonwealth's joining, as they're going to bring down this fort. There is no fort here, so I'll have the honor to go to Paris myself. We will go soon. And you all have to cover me. Naval action, there's Commonwealth ships. Dealing with 2 heavy ships from the French. Well, now we don't have the means to blockade them all. So we lost sight, so we have to swing around and check. Alright, to Paris. You cover me. Move up. Come on, you too. All we need is to control the high ground, in which we do now. Of course, the Cossacks. Surround Paris. We see you. One day, I'm gonna kick them out and the fleet will be in action for the first time. I think, but I can't guarantee everything. They don't have the means to blockade, so it'll be put at sea next month. May buy us a bit of time. But where the hell's the rest of you? What happened? It appears they went far as this way, then they just disappeared. Hey, stop here. Stop here, and then we will figure out which front line should we commit to. We have no contact with the French anymore, so this is ominous. Which could mean they will commit all their forces over here. They know what we're up to, because we intend to knock them out of the war if we just take their capital and a few other forts that they've got. It's these 4 areas that's surrounded by it. Only back at Chartres is where there's no river crossing. Just take this area, which... Why have they not really invested in this land? And plus, that's not even their main trade city. Well, where do they get their trade from? Not in Bordeaux either. Unless we already took that away from them by occupying that area, but I can't guarantee it. Anyways. Just a couple of more smaller battles that'll be taking place now. But no French as of yet. But a Commonwealth will keep. And then the Sicilian armies. The Sicilian armies were with us again. Which, again, I feel bad for you. War exhaustion is really getting to you. And you are under strength. Because you have suffered so much in this war. So much. And some more of that suffering may increase, so... Damn. I was hoping you can afford some of these. Because if I wanted somebody from, like, them or Akonulu, it ain't gonna be much. I don't want cash because this would be the only opportunity. Certainly won't ask Mawa. Or them. Oh no. Allied with the Timurids. If there's gonna be a war for the Croatian parts of India, well, we're in trouble. So this is why this area needs a fortress in future. In 2 years' time. In a year's time. I really need to increase the size of that army in future. In post-war. They're indicating they're going this way. What's your position with Krakow? Then we'll get moving to assist the Commonwealth in the front. Leganica, you'll be heading there. Volsvar, and then the Kalitz. That's all in the Silesia region area, right? Silesia and Wielkopolska, Greater Poland. These armies are to be deployed just to assist the others, wherever the biggest battles are going to be, but we don't want to get too far separated, because the French surprise. Speaking of surprises, Scandinavia has been liberated by Sweden, I assume, and they'll soon be redeploying back to the front. As long as they've got no rebellions back there, we'll be safe. So we'll be recommitting in this war for this spring and summer. We've already arrived in Paris. The fort's fallen. Just as planned. But you may want to stay in Paris. I don't see any more high ground. That'll be up in the hills. Come on, Britain, join the war. Beat the French. Free Louisiana if you have to. This is your chance, although you don't have the manpower, but you got the amount to get what you need. I don't know why, but I'm thinking for now that this needs to take up naval escort, where we may need an increase of cavalry and all that, but I can't afford anymore. And I don't want to create newer regiments because they are needed to the front. I would if the Mamluks had enough soldiers to give us. But it's good to see that they're still good friends. Except for, Akonulu, who's not friends with the Mamluks anymore because they took land from them. Speaking of friends. Oh, there they are. But they're moving back this way. We can't know for certain. Violent battle ahead. Move up here. Poznan. Poznan, Wielkopolska. We're going to commit to this battle. The French are moving away. For certain, they're not going to be there in time to assist them, but we will help the Commonwealth on this battle. The Sicilians have finally got themselves together, but they're not moving. Don't be so timid. And Paris is about to fall. After 34 days, Paris has been taken. So is there more enthusiasm medium now? Yes. But the real question is, will they quit the war? If they quit the war, we win the war, so to speak. Of course, you still got Brandenburg to contend with. So we'll hold Paris. Actually, you may want to transfer, because you're the best defense. Once you're done occupying the countryside, switch places. You go to Paris, I'll go far, and head to Brittany, kick the fleet out so our Croatian sailors, our boys out there, can defeat them. They're not going anywhere. And neither are they. But right now, the battle is here. My golly, you did it. Yeah, they try to get out. Uh-oh. We got more. You started this, Stipe. They are force marching. They want to get over here. Another bloody farmlands. The Commonwealth's ready to assist. And more Croatian troops be on the way. And they are force marching. Forces of Brandenburg and Cologne will be here. How the land looks. They've arrived. They're throwing more bodies out this way. But now, Mikolas will go to take a command. And that's the problem. Cologne's got discipline. And they have a visor that has discipline. And they're throwing more bodies this way. Where are the French? That's what I'm concerned. Because all of Brandenburg's forces are moving this way. Swiss army hired by the French are coming here. Switch places. No, no, no. We can't move in. Damn, another obstacle. Switch places. Move up to areas a little close to here. Especially we got good supply limit out here. It's open country. It's summer. The Scandinavians and the Swedes better come down here. Because we can't do this all on our own. Because it's definitely going to kill our manpower reserves. As I said, not going anywhere, so we're safe. For now. And he's spending. Oh, by the way, these other areas. Why does this have that? It doesn't provide much income. What does it give us, seriously? Not that much of an amount. It needs more of these. This is under construction. Build a university so we can develop that in the future. Same for here. What is that doing here? Oh, actually, that does very little. Oh well, every little bit helps. So that way we'll be ready for the next World War. But Battle of Poznan continues up there. They're withdrawn. They're withdrawing. We're gonna kill the rest out here. Oh, pretty good. Wheatcrot suffered a lot here. Quiet. Good thing that large French army has arrived, but you may want to back away. Return to your original positions. Especially you. You're going to stay back there. We'll be there in Ratibot and Opale. Yeah, mostly Silesian area. Into Malopolska, which is Lesser Poland. I still remember the names. And I know a Polish friend of mine who watches these videos and knowing it's like, hey, you know, you're from there and all that, but still. We got some serious business, okay? What are you doing? Ah. Developing, I see. Tell you what, when we defeat this fleet, like we need to bring this fort down and that fort down, we could send one army over to go pick them up, and then we'll kill them here, liberate New Croatia. All that. But don't take too long. Extremely deadly. And I know that general for a long time. So we are withdrawing. To get away from all this. Slow down, will you? So we got Paris covered. While we're switching places. So we kind of mostly stabilized the front line out here. But do I need to look at the devastation after more than 3 years of war now? Oh my god! Poznan, very devastated. So, friendly movement speed, hostile movement speed reduced. Not only prolonged occupation, but a lot of chaotic battle that happened here. Of all these places throughout the battlegrounds of Europe, and Ansbach, which has been recently... No, has not been liberated. Is also getting more devastated because of the occupation. While we're adding devastation to France for once. But as long as we stay here, the more devastation to provide. And keep in mind, this is what happens if a country gets high devastation. Manpower reserves that's going to come from this province, very much reduced. And the autonomy doesn't help it either because of the revolution here. So any kind of enemy occupation in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth is very vulnerable to devastation. And yet they say it's the little man that suffers. But honestly, it's the country with its vast resources that suffers the most. And we just hope that the conflict doesn't escalate any further. No more war declarations from other countries. Which I haven't heard from anyone else. Thank goodness, but the pressure's on them now. So now they're starting to feel that bit of a war exhaustion. And see that war participation? I told you, the French are the difference makers. Thank goodness. Over 90,000. It's getting close to 1 million total. Possibly 1 million total by now. By the end of this year, it's definitely going to reach 1 million. This never happened to me in the history of me playing EU4. But it seems the French are not phased about trying to draw them away, but we're trying to get them to quit the war. And then we will definitely win. Based on numbers alone. Okay, you are fighting in Dresno. Dresno, Saxony. It's part of Commonwealth, Saxony. Victorious Jordan. By the way, who's the dynasty ruler here? Ah, Dutch. Dutch descent of this dynasty, but at least you get a lot of national tax modifier to keep the war going. No wonder why two Sicilies joined your ally. We used to be enemies, but now no longer. And now we're putting pressure on Brandenburg from the north. As Scandinavia is fully liberated of the Danish parts of Scandinavia. While we will stay in our position. Stay on this side of the river and you'll be safe. I fear the French are out there somewhere. They're in Brandenburg territory. I know it. I can feel it. Go to there. They're out there. I know it. You're following too. They will commit to this battle. It's woods. But this is their woods. So because they've not taken that fort. Now they're out of there before the French could even commit, wherever they may be. So we're shifting our front line to this way. They're coming to Dresno. What's the river crossing? This is Sueca. No river crossing here. Rudavar is where we're going. And they will commit. Run! They're gonna get slaughtered up there. Swiss are going to Dresno too. This is a huge tally of total. But they're still terribly outnumbered. And if we try to intervene, will it make a difference or not? Why aren't you guys moving? Why aren't you helping? And we thought this was going to draw them out, but the plan's not working. Oh dear. There we go. Hellfire. Look at the French morale. Golden era, the military drill. Their advisor, I assume that's who that is. And the army tradition is at its highest. God. I think we may want to hold in Hradec instead. I'm having second thoughts about this. May have to turn around. They cannot hold. No way. Despite the better discipline and tactics, but the morale. The army tradition. What's your army tradition? Lower than that. Way lower. And he's become a hardy warrior recently. Just in case. Where are the other friendlies? No, no, no. Fall back. Fall back. You're going to... back to your original starting positions. Get away! They're going to try to kill as much as they can, but... dear God. It would be better if we killed the Swiss, the divide and conquer tactic. It's always a proven tactic. But if you try to kill the Swiss, the French will come. Lucrative trade agreements with the Thalakid tribe. Lesser nations question what value is there in questioning the people in trade, but our merchants know better. It seems that these people do not know the true value of what they hold. We have a golden opportunity to strike riches from these people by taking massive stores of available goods and metals in exchange for some relatively trivial medical sources. Need to be more innovative these days. In fact, level 27, what's their level? 28. Oh, they got the best cavalry available too. We will not exploit these people. No. Again, we're trying to draw the French this way. This is a surefire way of how we can defeat them here. Despite all this, we need to... It's starting to catch up to them. The war enthusiasm needs to be low to make sure. I was looking at Louisiana. That's revolutionary France. But the stability is low because they had a revolution and all these sort of things. After that bloody battle up there in Dresno, well, we've done it. We have exceeded 1 million casualties total. And it's only been 3 years of war. And the war will continue, unfortunately. As we still have not taken a relevant objective for the Commonwealth. But the only way to win this war is to get the French out of the war. And we will hold this territory. And devastate it too. I could devastate it a bit more. Because after all, this is the most developed territory in France, yes? Yes. It's where all the manpower lies. We already occupied some of those areas. And it can only go up. I don't like to do this. How much military power does it cost? 5. Okay, so we're gonna do this to them. Scorched Earth. Just to hurt their manpower reserves a bit. Especially more. Trying to break their will to fight. And does the devastation also affect... Let me see. No, but it does affect the supply limit modifier. But hey, it lowers our movement speed and so does theirs. So property and resource have been destroyed in order to deny the enemy use of this province. I wouldn't do that to my own territories. Unless we're fighting a guerrilla war. Heck, these armies we built were originally supposed to be of the doctrine of the old armies. Of the days when we fought against the Ottomans. The French are leaving. See to if you can try to defeat the Swiss. I'm willing to throw away this amount of manpower against them. As long as the French aren't near anywhere. Just gather up. Don't attack yet. Capture the transport. Buccaneer Battalion by Nuremberg. There's the Croatian army. Go meet up with them. Okay, they're leaving. Failed to seize the opportunity. They know what we're up to. And stay here. Stick around. This episode will end on the beginning of January of 1718. Oh my god, we did it! Revolutionary France is out. It took this amount of pressure. So, Revolutionary France accepted peace. Despite what it says, that's not going to be the total tally. Revolutionary France will be given a reparations, which is going to be a lot for the Commonwealth. Huge ducats for them, and for us too. Well, we got no reason to be here anymore. And France loses revolutionary zeal, so they'll turn against each other. I don't think it'll be wise to stick around a bit longer. Return. Never you mind. Get back to your ships. In fact, I may send you to India. For, you know, just in case. Now the tide has turned. But we do know we exceeded 1 million. But we need to get out of here. Head back to Croatia by any means, and then we will redeploy to the front line, wherever it may be. Because these guys need our help. So we took out their biggest ally. The war might be over sooner than we think, if this keeps up. But we still have not taken a relevant objective yet. Okay. Oh yeah, we gotta deal with these guys. Buccaneer Battalion. So-called. No, you're gonna go back still. So. Drop off in Tunis. Yeah, I know, it's getting to you. So the front line's stabilized here now. Except for this area, but it's only a matter of time before it escalates and gets ugly. But they're still allied with Brandenburg, unfortunately. So now they got a huge manpower reserves and revolutionaries, so fighting them in combat will be extremely hard. Now that we've learned a lesson here. Accommodation with the natives in Korea. Though there have been troubles in our relations with the native people of Korea, we have managed to find an agreement with the ruling class of their tribe, and this should lead to a massive reduction in violence and conflict between our two people. We have broken bread with their leaders and jointly agreed to cease our conflict and move forward as friends and allies. Peace! Marco Tolovats has passed. Yeah. Now you're going to try to take down this fortress in order to get to Nuremberg. Take Nuremberg and you'll win the war. But Brandenburg needs to be taken out still. Everything is quiet right now, no major engagements to speak of. Ever since the French left, I'm sure they feel demoralized. Well, meanwhile, the forces of New Croatia are about to meet the Buccaneer Battalion, which would be the only noted battle that's not in Europe. Yeah, I know. Once they get... And then we're gonna send them to India for guard duty. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will end the episode on that note. With the front line now quiet, without any major battles to speak of, except for, well, it looks like the French are going to go back to fighting against the English. Figures. I would like to intervene on the side of the British. The only noted battle to speak of for this late part of the year. And the battle is over before Christmas. And they will retake that land back. And New Croatia is secure. Return to Tunis. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will end this episode on that note. And it's highly likely, in this next episode, we will see the conclusion of this devastating war, which has already seen over 1 million losses. Sweden, have you not gone revolutionary, have you? No. Calm yourself down. Just know for certain. Take Brandenburg out and we will win the war. So the plans for 1758 go on the offensive towards Brandenburg. The defeat of Brandenburg will also cause many states of the HRE to surrender as well. And that subsequently war will finally be over. And that'll be the end of this nightmare. It's not Croatia's deadliest war, but it is deadly for all Europeans. Look at the devastation. And the devastation that we caused in France. We had to break their will. And Ansbach, our little friend, suffered. Safe to say for Denmark parts, the Danish parts as well. Even New Croatia and Canada suffered the wrath of warfare as well. But now, as for France, now they're going to go increase tensions with Great Britain. Regarding who supports what. And if these two were to go to war, I would intervene on the side of the British. And we still fear that one day the war with the Timurids will begin in this wide conflict. If they attack Mala, we will intervene and all that. But Akun Universalis, so it's good to see him. But who knows what? So we do know there's going to be a build-up for this year. We will see the conclusion of the Great War here in the Croatian series. And we'll see you all in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.